Shots fired.
Violence is absolutely one of the top public health problems in the United States. Almost anything that we're trying to do in public policy in a city like Chicago requires us to get a handle on the violence problem.
Crime Lab is a research organization based at the University of Chicago. Our mission is to partner with policymakers to generate better data to guide crime policy and crime prevention.
We use the Crime Lab to help us think through program design, to help us evaluate programs, and then to use the data to help us inform our strategic decision-making.
We want to make sure that he's internalized that idea when he's figuring out what sort of test items to use.
To bring the kind of rigor that we see in medicine and public health to violence prevention, and to do rigorous trials that have the same scientific standards that you would see in cancer trials. There's tens of thousands of kids in Chicago who really need help so that they won't become the victims or the perpetrators of violence. So we need to be evaluating interventions that can really work at that scale.
Goals relate to identity and who you think you are.
We selected a project that was proposed by Youth Guidance and World Sport Chicago called Becoming a Man. Becoming a Man tries to reduce the crime and violence problem by just getting kids to slow down and think about what they're doing in very high-stakes situations that could lead to tragedy.
There is a moment where they realize that there's something outside of themselves and that their options aren't as limited as they thought.
So on my break, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Just 1 year of participating in Becoming a Man reduced the rates at which kids were arrested for violent crime by fully 44%.
One Summer Chicago Plus was born out of the research that the Crime Lab did on the Becoming a Man program. It involves 1,000 kids who are at risk of being involved in violence over the summer. The Crime Lab has done randomized controlled trial evaluation that showed a 51% reduction in violent crime arrests.
Now what do we do?
You subtract 6.
Figuring out a way to dramatically change high school graduation rates will be centrally important for making long-term progress on the violence problem. We've been partnering with Match Education in Boston to work with the Chicago Public Schools to provide a safety net for high school kids who are way behind. It's really unbelievably intensive, individualized instruction. They're basically learning the equivalent of 3 years of math in 1 year.
It's 375.
375.
Chicago basically has no gun stores. There's this underground gun market that's bringing guns from outside the city into Chicago, and that is making the violence problem that we have here much worse. We've been working with the Chicago Police Department to analyze some of the data that they collect but don't have time to analyze on where the guns are coming from. Hopefully will be of some use in developing their enforcement strategies. The next stage of what we're trying to do is become much more national in our reach. I think this MacArthur Award is also going to be enormously helpful for us in expanding our impact beyond the Chicago area nationwide. Floor effect problem.